Welcome to the arcade, everybody. Welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, and I swear this is the last time we are going to restart the Orcs campaign.
We already have too many restarts.
We've already had way too many restarts. So let's get these first... Now, I'm curious to see how these first battles play out. Well, probably not the first battles, but some of these battles play out. Just because they changed the battle system. This is with the new update. So it is going to be interesting to see how these new battles play out, because supposedly they changed a lot of stuff with the AI. I didn't really read the patch notes yet. I haven't had a chance to. I wasn't really feeling good yesterday or today, so I didn't get a chance to sit down and read any patch notes this weekend or anything, so I think we definitely lost King.
Oh,
there he is.
yeah, there he is.
So yeah, if you guys read the patch notes and want to clue in on what all changed, you can. Like I said, I haven't read the patch notes, so
probably nothing serious.
Well, supposedly they changed the combat system with this update.
Let's see.
That's what I said. I'm really curious to see what... I mean, they obviously didn't change the map.
Yeah. Third time fighting on this.
We will see if Mr. Giant goes his own long way around by himself.
Yeah, then we'll know. Then we'll know that there was actually a patch and not just some shitty distraction tactic by CA.
Mr. Ogre flanking on his own. I don't know. Looks like the same setup.
I don't know. He's on that flank.
There he is.
Death's prepping half of his army to go after this guy.
Yeah, I know. It'll be hilarious if he doesn't go.
That's what I was about to say.
He's prepping to kill the giant. I have a feeling that giant's gonna go, though. Just call it a hunch. You gonna go, buddy? You gonna be a lone ranger? You gonna flank all by yourself?
No!
Nope.
He's not flanking!
He is not flanking.
Immediate slowdown, pull all the troops back.
Yep. Oh, he had them all ready to go.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, he turned.
He's turning back! Oh, wait, no.
He's not sure what he wants to do. He's not sure what he wants to do. He's confused.
I flanked. This time.
Nope, he is not flanking. He thought about it, but then he turned back. He is not flanking. So they did definitely change some of the AI.
Look at this guy, fucking drunk driver, like, just zigzagging all over the road here.
The ogre, yeah.
What is he
giant,
doing?
Yeah.
The giant, yeah.
He's confused right now. It's almost like the line of code is telling him to do one thing. He's like, but I do another thing.
I don't attack with main force. I always flank rock.
And no, in the meantime, Death has his main force all the way on the other side of the cavern,
Yeah.
while Giant's getting ready to beat up his main force. Oh damn! Look at Death's troops flying. That Giant is wasting no time back here. Alright, this is gonna make us have to rethink how we approach battles.
Yeah.
Oh, the Giant is dead! He killed the mighty Giant. Oh, I love how he's got arrows sticking out his body. That is so cool. Nice little touch.
Yeah.
That was unexpected big time.
Oh, indeed
Damn.
it was.
Who would have thought that one giant, like, fucks up the entire battle plan?
I know, right?
Mine does, yeah, because you're so used to sending one. Because
Well,
that's the
I feel like it wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't have sucked so bad if you didn't fight this battle 2 times before and he did the same thing twice.
yeah.
So
So you're just used to it.
But I
Yeah.
mean, now we know they definitely did change the battle tactics for the AI.
Yeah.
So we don't know what we're actually going to be up against.
I mean, it's still the same units, and they're probably still going to function the exact same way.
Like I said, I have not read the patch notes, so I don't know 100%.
I mean, it can't be that different.
Oh, can this load any slow?
That's what I was thinking. We're on the counting simulator. Or the countdown simulator. So, boys and girls, if you want to learn to count down from 600, never mind. Don't follow that counter right now. You going next, King, or you want me to go next?
Let's go.
King?
What?
Are you going next, or do you want me to go next?
Yeah, pay attention.
I'll go.
I said that just because. Try to wake you up.
Well, now we will see for sure. If King just completely wipes the arena with these guys like he normally does, then
Well, I mean, there's no strategy with this one.
there's no strategy with mine either.
It's the next one that's the tell.
Yeah.
Because the next one, that's when I have to fight their main boss outside of their city.
Right.
So that's what we'll know.
I'm the prophet, and what I says goes. Wah!
So they added 2 new units, one for Cathay and one for Ogre Kingdoms.
Ah,
The Cathay now has Nan Go Grenaders,
explosions.
and the Ogres have Noblar Flingers.
Another thing I probably won't use because it's not ogres. Probably if they're like artillery, maybe, but
They modified Tzitch's wheel, or Karo's Fragments of Sorcery wheel.
does that mean disease won't break the map?
They replaced the old Fragments of Sorcery system with Karos would gain special ancillaries on his skill tree that he could use to replace specific subsets of spells with a new freeform spell lore building system available in the Fragments of Sorcery tab on his character details panel. Karo starts the campaign with 2 slots for common spells. Every 5 levels he unlocks a further slot, with his final rare spell slot unlocking automatically at level 20. There are no limitations on how often you can change your spell loadout, allowing you to reach into your magic murder bag and retrieve just the right tool for every battle.
Wait, hold on. So they took out the cooldown for spells, changing your spells
Yep.
out with them?
Yep, they took out the cooldown.
Oh shit!
So, but I mean, you can only change it right before the battle. Once the battle begins, you can no longer replace them, but you can replace them at the beginning of every battle.
That's how it was when you normally play it. But there was a cooldown on when you could switch spells and what spells you could use again.
Yeah, no, not anymore.
Yeah, this basically made him a lot more powerful. That was so small. Because he can use
Only
any spell
8
of magic.
losses, King? Only 8 losses?
That must be embarrassing for you guys.
Fuck you, King. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. I hope your next battle kills your entire army.
Honestly, it does give me a lot of casualties.
Kislev, they unlocked Boris Ursus.
Yeah, I heard they were doing a lot of stuff with Kislev.
Yeah, there's a long list of Kislev shit.
Oh, did they just give it be like you don't have to do what you had the mission again?
All existing
Just
requirements to
okay.
unlock Boris Ursus have been removed, meaning you no longer are required to complete the relevant quest battle in the Realms of
Okay.
Chaos campaign to unlock and play him.
Beautiful.
I mean, it was interesting. Don't get me wrong. That you could do to unlock him. You could play as Zeech, or you can play as Boris's daughter.
Kislev, the supporter race is gone. This feature has been entirely supplanted by the court and orthodoxy feature outlined below. As a consequence, invocations of the motherland have been removed or have been moved out of the panel and are now found on forces and settlements. More details below. Standard Confederation is now available to Kislev. There are no restrictions to declaring war between Kislev factions.
So instead of them, so they're trying to make them an empire faction because that's what they basically were.
Yep.
They were basically an empire faction.
Court and Orthodoxy. Court and Orthodoxy is a new shared feature available to all Kislevite factions, including Mother Ostankia. As you play campaigns as any Kislev faction, you will accrue support with the Ice Court and the Great Orthodoxy through various means, such as construction of aligned buildings, fighting their enemies, and dedicating your autonomons, whatever the fuck that is, to their cause. For every 100 points of support with a faction you accrue, you permanently increase that faction's support tier by 1 and gain a faction-specific boon token. Boon tokens can be spent in the Court Orthodoxy panel for a variety of permanent, powerful upgrades. Be wary, however, if you show undue favor to one side, the overall stability of Kislev will be threatened and will suffer escalating penalties. Various sources can improve how much you stretch this imbalance, such as controlling the relevant faction leaders, allowing you to tilt the balance more to your favored cause.
Huh. Interesting. Because from what I'm hearing is that they put a bit of Kislev with the support faction in there. Like how those settlement works, where you have to choose one side or the other, and doing one over the other breaks it a bit.
Well, that's what it sounds like. It kind of sounds like they put a little bit of Cathay in there. You know, you got to make sure you keep it balanced.
It sounds like they put the mishmash of a bunch of different factions.
Devotion has been replaced. Control for all Kislev factions. Devotion has a separate set of benefits to control.
Okay.
Recruitment and growth are not affected by high and low devotion anymore. Devotion above 50 allows usage of invocations of the motherland for both local forces and settlements. 75 plus devotion allows a settlement to nullify climate penalties. Devotion below 0 will grant increasing experience to automons deployed to quell the situation. If devotion reaches minus 100, a chaos incursion will occur. Previously, it was the case that declaring war on another Kislev faction gave you minus 100 devotion penalty. This is now instead a minus 10 devotion penalty to all provinces. I don't really recognize this map, but I kind of like where we're starting here.
Oh boy, Biggins! Time for a rock, I say! Immortals, get your choppers out! This one's gonna be fun! Boys!
Why is my cavalry not running away like I told them to?
Moving fast! We're off!
My cavalry just got decimated over there. They would
Oh,
not run
shit.
away once engaged.
Ready to kill! Attack the gates!
I'm the boss! Running! Shifting it! Suppose?
Get ready to war! Boys! Filter!
Run!
Not sure about that battle system. I lost less than I usually do.
That's good. Lost more than I usually do.
But the problem is I wasn't able to pull my cavalry out. Once my cav interacted, they wouldn't leave.
Weird.
So
I've
I'm not
also noticed that too.
I'm not
Were
sure
they-
how I feel about that.
In battle a bit more.
What's that?
I've also noticed that too.
Yeah, once the cav are interlocked, it's like they don't want to leave. That'll get rid of the hit and run for cav. I don't know if I like that or not. Alright, so there's still a lot of changes with Kislov. I'm not going to read all of them. I want to see the... Oh my god, there's a couple pages of shit for Kislov. Cathay now
Yeah,
has...
I've got that a lot.
Cathay now has a new ogre camp. After
Wait, what?
after a perilous journey from the Mountains of Morn, the Stone Shatter tribe has arrived in the wastelands of Jinshin, just south of Xiaoming. With their camp settled on the banks of the Great River, they offer mercenaries to all nearby factions.
Oh. So,
That's
in
exactly
other
what I
words,
want. More
is looking to get
fucking
mercenaries?
ogres.
Yeah, ogre mercenaries.
Alright, races in balance. Horse cavalry turn changes. Oh, here we go. Alright, this is what I was looking for. It was brought to our attention that cavalry turn speeds have been fairly inconsistent since the Thrones of Decay DLC. So with this in mind, we've taken a look at raising the turn speeds of cavalry to be a bit more comparable. High Elves in Bretonnia, who have some of the finest steeds in the world, were particularly suffering with a lower turn speed than most other comparable horse cavalry units. We've rectified this by increasing the bulk of a horse cavalry turn speed from 100 degrees per second to 120 degrees per second where it makes sense. Mostly High Elf Bretonian cavalry skeletal steeds are still relatively slow at turning on the virtue of being hit, well, dead. We hope this change serves to make the affected cavalry units a bit more responsive when turning, allowing for more flexibility when cycle charging into the side and rear of the enemy infantry formations. Okay, but that doesn't really explain why the cav...
Yeah, what? Kill them all!
I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't explain why the cav, once they were interlocked for good.
Gork's fist.
Maybe that 120%. I mean, that 120 they did made it too slow?
Well, they sped them up. They made it faster, but
Or made them too fast so they can't-
my problem wasn't the speed. My problem was the fact that
They got stuck.
yeah, they didn't want to disengage.
I also wonder. I wonder how much that actually affects us, because not really horses. They're boars, so they'd be heavier.
Alright, well, let's take a look. Because apparently they went faction by faction. And they did. There's Beastmen, there's Bretonnia, there's Chaos Dwarves, there's the Dark Elves, there's the Dwarves, there's the Empire, Grand Cathay, Greenskins. Let's see here. So, what mounts was I using? I don't even remember what they were called. Do you?
Amy.
Boar
What was-
boys.
What was it?
Yeah, the ball boy.
They're not listed. Gorbad Ironclaw. His recruitment cost has gone from 1,000 to 1,100. Upkeep cost has
Whoa.
gone from 250 to 275. Gorbad Ironclaw Mount Narla. Now, this is just recruitment cost stuff and upkeep. They did some modifications to the wolf chariots, making them do more damage. But instead of doing 2 shots per volley, now they only do 1 shot per volley. Goblin wolf chariots do almost twice as much damage now. But again, they went from 2 to 1. Yeah, it really doesn't say a whole lot. That's not really telling me much. General battle fixes. Fix some issues where chariots and some other entities were being hit by the same projectile multiple times. Fix a possible crash when there are too many projectiles slowing, sliding, rolling on the ground. Fixed an issue with ranged units fire at will stance by increasing the number of checks units make to start firing. They will now also prioritize firing over maintaining positional unit cohesion. So they've changed the fire at will. Fixed a bug where if most of the player's units were hidden, the ally units would remain in formation instead of rushing forward. Blah 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 blah. A lot of animation fixes. Environment fixes. So it doesn't say anything about why my cav would not hit and run.
Sometimes they just get stuck.
You think that's what it was? They just got stuck?
Because
I mean, it could be, but they got completely obliterated because they got stuck.
Yeah. Look, in the olden days, if you wanted to hit a unit in the ass, you'd hit the motherfuckers in the ass. Now, what cavalry does is it runs through the entire unit. So, when you try and pull them out, you either have to pull them out where... I'd say a good rule is where... So, like, let's say there's a unit in the middle, and the majority of your cavalry is on the right side of that unit. You'd want to pull it to the right side, not try and pull it to the left. Just because they run the whole way through units now. For some stupid reason. I honestly don't understand why.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But at least now we've read most of the changelog, except I did not read all the Kislev stuff. If I ever get interested in playing Kislev, I will probably finish reading that stuff. Or if I get stuck playing Kislev at some point, I will probably read it.
Again, the Boris thing was an interesting choice for them to make it not a quest anymore.
Well, the problem is nobody plays the campaign.
Everyone plays Immortal Empires.
I never played the campaign.
I've never played the campaign either. I've been playing
So,
Immortal Empires.
we would never unlock Boris. Never. Because we do not play the campaign.
Well, here's the thing. Boris is automatically unlocked in Immortal Empires.
He's not.
No, he's not.
He's absolutely fucking not.
I do not have him unlocked.
Play him as Immortal Empires.
Yeah, because you played the Chaos campaign.
No, you have to play Kislev campaign.
Oh wait, didn't I play as Boris once? Wasn't I getting my ass kicked as Boris?
Yes, you were.
Oh yeah, so he was unlocked for me even though I didn't play the campaign.
Yeah,
But I can't play him though.
You can't play him in normal campaign now.
In normal campaign, no. Well, you'll be able to now in normal campaign.
Yeah, Immortal Empires is unlocked. I noticed that. But also, it kind of makes sense why they made him a different playable character, because his story doesn't make any sense. So, in the campaign, when you do Kislev, if you do the quest to free Boris, you have to fight the Tzeentch Lord. I'm having trouble remembering his name.
Now is your cav doing the hit and run? It does look like they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so it must have just been that mine got stuck.
Yeah.
Because it looks like it's working for you, so.
But yeah, basically, the Ice Queen frees her father, or the Zeech frees him and puts him under his control. In Boris's campaign, neither of them frees him. He gets freed by the sound of Boris.
Bro, are you talking about lore right now?
Yeah, he's trying to talk about Boris's lore. If I remember correctly,
No,
that
this
battle to
look,
unlock
this
Boris
with-
was a bitch to fight.
With all due respect, who the fuck cares? Because he sucks, dude. Let's face it, he sucks.
No, Unknown Mischief. If I remember correctly, that battle to unlock Boris was a bitch to fight. I mean, like I said,
Well,
honestly,
yeah.
I never played the campaign. I was never planning on playing the campaign, so
No, that's why I was simply saying that how the campaign stories don't make fucking sense for Boris.
and I'm betting there's a lot of players out there who don't play the campaign.
No, why would you? There's a whole bunch of different factions you can play as just Immortal Empires. I will say, when Immortal Empires came out, I bet almost 100%, almost, I won't say all, I don't know what percentage of players didn't pick Immortal Empires to play at all. But they all just went into Immortal Empires and just kept playing Immortal Empires since then.
Yeah, well, because like, why wouldn't you? Why would you play like a mediocre side campaign that's like not even a quarter of the map?
Unknown Mischief. Legit, the only reason I did was to unlock Boris, not gonna lie, but I think I've only played Boris once. Boris is a tough campaign. I played Boris once. Because
Yeah,
he was
he's all
unlocked
about
for me
cavalry.
through Immortal Empire, so
If I remember correctly, he's all about the Polar Veil Cavalry.
Oh, don't try and fucking sell him to me, you bitch.
Boris is
Don't
just
you dare.
Boris was a bitch to play. Boris was just a bitch to play.
I could care less. I know you're gonna pick Bretonia when you can. Because you just love that cavalry.
He's really a tough start. He is. I was getting my ass kicked. I mean, I was holding
looks
my
like
own
a
up there,
tough
but
guy.
I was so getting my ass kicked. But once you get to the bears, he's broken as fuck. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you can't keep a settlement up there. As soon as you move out of one settlement to take another settlement, somebody else is coming behind your ass and taking the settlement you just left. That was the biggest problem I was having issue up there with, is everybody's fighting everybody.
Now, see, here's the thing. This is one, probably, I will say there's a lot of good for some of the newer aspects, but all the way back to, I don't know about Rome, but maybe Empire Total War. You used to be able to have individual troops in settlements as garrisons. But now you need, if you want to have a garrison force, you need to actually have a commander or a leader, which is just kind of a crazy concept, which I understand theoretically. But
Wait, we need to have a leader for our garrisons now?
No. No, we don't.
no.
Oh.
You used to be able, I'm not talking about like the troops that you get when they attack your settlement. I'm talking about overland troops that you could recruit in the settlement and leave in the settlement and then move them around at will without the use of a general or a commander.
Oh.
So like, think you could have 100 little units running around your map, like singular units. But now you can't recruit units without the use of a general, which I kind of hate.
I kind of like that, though, because that's more the way it was than...
Yeah,
Because if you think about it now, today's military, they're not going to send in a unit to do fighting without having somebody in there to lead.
Yeah, but you don't. you don't necessarily need a general at every single base.
A general, no, but you need some sort of a leader.
Yeah, like a captain of a unit. Exactly.
Unknown Mischief says, like, no joke, a full bear stack can auto-resolve everything. The reason they probably don't have that is because at that point, what's the point of having a leader? Hey, yeah, that's kind of my thing on that one.
Well, the whole point of having a leader is for the same reason that your garrisons can in this game can never win a battle. Because without your big leader, you don't have any of the power and you don't have the morale. And I mean, you can still theoretically have garrisons. If you're like, okay, this settlement is going to be attacked more often, like more likely, all you really have to do is recruit another leader and then just have him have a half stack and sit in that settlement. I mean, he's not going to be leveling up, but you could still do it.
That's kind of what I do when I want to protect a place, is just have a army there that I forget about until it's time for them to shine.
Yeah. And it's not like the generals are hard to come by anyway, and their upkeep isn't like killing you. So it doesn't really matter.
The only advantage I could see having that would be recruitment speed would be a hell of a lot faster. Because you could just suck
It would be.
100 units in.
Now, I think they changed this like right after Medieval 2. But what you used to have to do, I'm pretty sure I told you guys about this, was send, like, if you didn't have automated replenishment, which sucked. So like, let's say you recruited like a late game unit, and the only place that you had the building to recruit that late game unit was all the way back at your capital. So now what you have to do is you have to detach that unit from the army and send them the whole way back to your capital to get retrained, and then send them the whole way back to the front line.
Oh,
And
that would
hoping not to
suck.
get attacked by them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a pain, and but it also it has its merits because it kind of forces a slower game. Because you can't recruit stuff unless you have the same I think it's not cultures, like it's like religion or something. So like if you take over like a Muslim territory, you'd have to actually build a temple or oh man, I haven't played vanilla in a long time, so I don't even know. But there were a lot there in the mods. It's culture. So in order to recruit those units, you need to build up the culture of your settlement, which means that now you've just got this settlement that you can do nothing with for the next 50 turns. So it forces you to have a gruelingly slow campaign for no fucking reason.
Probably the other reason why they don't do it too. I mean, like the just having a garrison there that you can take troops from. It kind of makes the vampire counts raising the dead ability kind of pointless.
That is true.
So
But nobody likes the vampire counts anyway, so, you know.
I love the vampire counts, and they're fucking broken as hell. Like, who cares? Who gives a fuck?
They are broken. It's basically cool. Yeah, I just lost almost all my army. Oh, well, back to life. Okay, continue.
Raise the dead. Bring them all back. Move on. So, Mischief, if you're still there, how are you enjoying the new update? Or should I say, have you played the new update yet?
Ooh, I federated. See, diplomacy is easy.
I haven't even touched the diplomacy screen this time. I touched the diplomacy screen in both of my other campaigns that we had to restart twice. And I just don't want to do it this time.
See,
Bro,
the funny
did
part
bro
is,
really
I
say
even-
diplomacy is so easy? Bro, you didn't do anything. All you did was kill their lord.
I still did diplomacy.
Yeah, dude. You're right, you're right. And a big fat fucking ogre on a goddamn cart is totally cavalry.
No, it's chariot. You get it right.
So cavalry. Oh my
Isn't
god.
chariot just basically cavalry?
No, yeah, and then those same people will be like, "This is totally a perfect fantasy. This totally doesn't ruin the fantasy genre at all." When fat guys
Both the
being
same
carried
thing. They
around
both have
by skinny
policies.
guys.
Just one has a caught with it.
Oh my god, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight this battle.
Okay,
I'm not fighting.
King's grumpy.
Yeah, I'm fucking grumpy. I am dude. I hate. Well, look,
I apologize to everybody on stream. King's grumpy today.
I hate Warhammer Fantasy so much, dude. There are so many aspects of it that just piss me off. Like, okay, all right, it would be totally fine if the dwarves didn't have helicopters. That's what makes me the most like that. That makes me more mad. No, and no, and you're gonna bring up the aircraft carriers. I know I know. Every time we talk about this, you bring up the aircraft carriers. That's
What about the
stupid as
aircraft
shit.
carriers? No, my bad. Not the aircraft carriers. What about the zeppelins?
I mean, like guns. I can say okay. because I feel like this is more of a Renaissance inspired kind of. But air travel, no, absolutely not.
They also have ships that
Nuclear
don't
weaponry.
actually
Hey, Puffin, what's going on? What is King yapping about? King's in a bad mood.
King
King's
is not in a
in a
bad
bad
mood. I am not in a bad mood. This game's just stupid.
See, King's bitchy today.
I am not in a bad mood.
He's afraid he's gonna get killed by helicopters from the dwarves.
I mean, what else? What can I say? What can I say about that? There's no defense. They have zero defense whatsoever.
At least it's not bitching about the scaling.
Yet, give him time.
Yeah, and nuclear weaponry.
He did actually bring up about the nukes.
Yeah, I did bring up the nukes because there's. It just. Did he tell you about the midnight fight that we had last night?
Yes.
You guys had a midnight fight last night.
It wasn't even a midnight fight.
A midnight.
I was expecting back.
Okay,
like,
11:15 fight.
No.
He
Sent me
Is
a video.
this something that should be discussed on stream or no?
Yes.
He
sent me a video. He sent me a video of an absolute geek talking about how Warhammer.
Oh, this is the 40K versus Star Wars thing. This is what got him started on Star Trek. Okay. Yes, he did start explaining this to me, but you might want to start over for the people at home.
Basically, Deathwalker 125 is a loser, and he thinks that Warhammer 40K would beat Star Wars. Now,
Let's get Sam.
this for me personally, I don't know if my boys could win, but that opens up a whole different dialogue about 40K versus Star Wars. It's like okay, so first the Force and the Warp, basically the same thing. The Warp is markedly worse than the Force because the Warp is all corrupting and destroying, and the Force is just everything. I mean, it's the fabric, the very fabric of the galaxy, not some mystical cloud in the sky. So what's better? Well, the Force, right? I will put $1 million on the line that a Jedi youngling, a 3-year-old with a lightsaber could beat a highly trained psyker in a 1v1.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
Tries to stab him, and then he finds out he's melting, and then he becomes a
no. See, now he hit me with that. He hit me with that too. The big dialogue for me, and this is why I kind of don't like 40K anymore, because they have this huge obsession with being big.
Puffin has to disagree on that part. He wouldn't say Puffin, a 3-year-old. What, you gonna go down to 1-year-old Puffin? A 1-year-old with a lightsaber?
Look, and I think that Warhammer itself kind of has.
As I said,
maybe 10-year-old Puffin says.
Yeah, Warhammer itself, in my opinion, has very little depth to it because they are so obsessed. It's like watching a Michael Bay film. You know, we all know those memes where it's like, oh, that explosion was cool, and like that was a big explosion, but I mean, was that it? Was that the movie? Yeah, pretty much.
You just don't go too in depth to the 40K because you're just pissed off that the Primarchs are almost all dead. No.
No, that's not. No. there is so it's kind of like Star Wars now, where there is so little depth to it. Like, legends of Star Wars, everything from the 1970s all the way up until 2015.
I will say this: if they included Legends, it would be a wholly different battle. It would be basically Psycho versus Psycho. I mean, Psycho versus Force User, and see how many of them fight each other.
I just think I think for some reason somebody up at Games Workshop has a tiny little ding dong and wants to make everything in 40K really, really big for no fucking reason. The scale of it is insane, and that's it. That's its excuse. It's like, and then you'll hear somebody like, "Oh yeah, well, they have trillions of people." Okay. Thanks for telling me. Like, that doesn't, just because it's big doesn't make it better or cool in any way, shape, or form. In my opinion, my professional opinion that is always right. I mean,
all right, listen here. I didn't ask for Tasca to be on this stream, so
see, that's your only defense. Your only defense of Warhammer 40K is comparing me to Brotastica. That's
no,
come on. What kind of
it's the you having to be right opinion is what he's referring to there.
Having to be right opinion.
No, we will never agree on 40K. But I'm sure there are people out there that think the exact same thing as me. Where it's this,
I believe that you take the big stuff.
It's this never-ending fascination with being big. Like, everything's big about it. The Space Marines, the Hive Cities, the ships, everything has to be so big.
See, that's the thing, is that you look at the big stuff and see that as a big picture, while I actually read more in depth into books and actually see there's a lot more story behind it when you look more into it. It's just the big stuff is like, cool, there's big stuff that takes most of the action when you just read all the small bits being like, oh, there's actually a story behind here.
No. And, I mean, Space Marines themselves...
Marines themselves, I have now known no Warhammer fan knows how to actually act as a Space Marine.
You're going off of a mega on that one?
No, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing though. You say you're just like Games Workshop. Blame the fandom. If nobody knows how to roleplay as a Space Marine in a tabletop RPG, maybe it's not their fault. Maybe it's Games Workshop's fault.
Warpick knows how to actually roleplay as a Space Marine.
I'm sure. The only reason that I let that slide was because I didn't know anything about 40K at the time. I think if he played as that now, I'd have the same exact reaction. Because Space Marines are just dumb as fuck.
They really are.
And that is the only thing that makes Warhammer 40K 40K. Everything else is either stolen or redesigned, reprinted from someone else or from fantasy. But even fantasy stuff is all reprinted.
Actually, originally 40K was made to just be fantasy in space to see how it works.
Exactly.
And originally, it wasn't supposed to be as big as it is now. It actually started off as a Rogue Trader RPG, tabletop game, role-playing game, which is what the Rogue Trader games are based off of.
Yeah, but we've seen how Rogue Trader turned out.
I think that if it wasn't for these
Rogue Trader
voice acting, I think it would be better.
No, Jester. That is a perfect representation of what Warhammer 40K is. A big ass map with nothing in it. It's like playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So again, you just look at the small bits and being like, oh, well, it doesn't have anything in it. I'm like, okay, it has this. It has this.
They're
it has this,
they're
it
talking
has
about
this.
Rogue
No,
Trader
no,
now, Puffin.
That's so bad. No, that's not good enough. Nope, nope, nope.
Well,
I'm
how
like,
can you not look at the big picture? Like, how can you look at the big picture and say that's bad, but then keep pursuing it and like find this tiny little crevice of light and be like, oh, I like it. No, if I don't like the big picture, I'm not gonna like any of it.
He's saying that 40K has no lore at all, and it's only big stuff.
No, Jester, did I say that at all?
No, you did not say that.
It has lore. It has tons of lore.
But he thinks it's just supposedly just all big, big, big. Everything.
Yeah. It Puffin, back me up here. You know I'm right, brother.
He says Quartz Saints population alone has trillions. He said that before he went to ad.
Exactly.
And now he's kind of lost on the conversation. Because we were at ad for most of that conversation.
Oh, god damn it. God damn it, Twitch. Anyway. Basically, my argument is that I think they put such a huge emphasis on everything being big. That's my number one takeaway. It's that everything needs to be big as a cover up for the fact that it doesn't have I'm not going to say it has no depth, because I've seen the depth of it. I've looked into a lot of the lore. I when I was really into 40K, I know a lot of the lore. But it doesn't have the level of depth that other things do. And it tries to hide it by making everything big and explodey. And it's like, oh yeah, well this laser can destroy entire galaxies. Oh, that's so cool. It's like watching Michael Bay.
I can definitely see King's argument. Like, I'll say this, 40K goes more into the rule of cool for a lot of its lore. That was from Puffin.
I won't argue with that. I won't.
But but again, as a counter to myself, there are other lores that people are obsessed with, like Lord of the Rings, but it's like, I don't give a fuck about this tree branch, like how old this tree is, where this tree's been, you know. So like that, you know.
But that's kind of how it went with Warhammer 40K when they went in more depth with it. Most people didn't give a shit.
Well, yeah, because they didn't do it right. But look, there is such a thing as going too deep, and then there's a thing as going not deep enough.
What I can basically say, I'm trying to think of what thing in there that'd be the perfect example of going too in depth. I would say going into in depth was probably maybe the War in Heaven.
Oh, I just realized I fucked up.
Nah, that's all right.
No, my Cav got killed and I never replaced him.
Oh well.
Oof.
Oh shit.
But,
okay. Well, I'm fighting without Cav.
I also think
anyway.
that's the reason why I think 30K is better than 40K. It's because with 40K, it's like Puffin said, the rule of cool. That he states it perfectly. But 30K, at least from what I've read from the Horus Heresy, not all of them, not even most of them, some of them, what I've read in the Horus Heresy books, they go very, very deep, and there's a very, very deep lore. And if you look at each individualized race, like I think probably one of my favorite Warhammer stories is the Fall of the Eldar. Like, but again, that I have to be right and also impartial. That very much is a rule of cool. That very much is there's this big thing and it kills trillions of people.
Yeah. I will say 30K goes in depth a lot more, but it's also 30K has the origin story of basically every race in it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it was. It was basically, oh, we got to learn about more of the Imperium. Man, 40K didn't touch on that because they made a whole separate thing for it.
The war is
In their
here.
mind, why should we go in depth with some of more lore if we already have 40K doing it?
Well, I also-
would you want to make a book? If you already made a book series that already went in depth lore on something that was popular in your original book series, and then you want to make the original book series have more lore, more of that backstory into it, even though you already went on it with the
So-
old book, with the other book
Puffin
series.
says 30K was more in depth.
Exactly.
Yes.
30K was
That's-
better.
that's what we're
30K
agreeing on.
30K was peak. 40K sucks. But like now the answer to that question then is the answer to
Special.
that just to make everything blow up and be cool? No.
Well,
I will say though,
don't you wanna
Games
just
Workshop
continue your own story? Don't you just want to continue the story and not because you already have a book that goes in the backstory of everything?
what do you mean continue the story?
Because that's what 40K is basically is. It's supposed to be the continuation of the story of 30K after 30K. 30K is supposed to be the backstory of everything. It's how one of the things is how the Imperium first met the Orcs, and how there was a big giant war to the point that the Emperor himself had to get involved against a Orc war boss that was more powerful than any of the
Yeah,
Primarchs
no,
combined.
I know the story. I know the story.
Oh
But
yes,
there's 10,000 years. Like, I mean, just think about this again. Scale. Think about the scale. 10,000 years,
which
and
I will
they don't
also
want to
say,
go,
they
and they don't want to go in
at the
depth.
beginning. They
What
go in
about
depth
30?
at the beginning where they say humanity has crumbled after the Horus Heresy.
Oh, that's so in depth. That's one sentence.
They basically turned into all religion. They went with the Imperial truth of everything.
Get nasty!
It does describe a lot of it. I'm not gonna go all into
That's
it
four
because I'm
sentences.
going to be here for 10 hours.
10,000 years
look,
can be such a crick in the neck, as Puffin said.
There is so much that you can do with that timeline that I don't feel the depth.
Boys.
You want to know what
I don't feel any love
10,000
anymore.
those years? 40K actually hit those too.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there was a lot of people dying and a lot of things blowing up and being exterminatus.
It's actually the memo of Imperial Fist. What happened with them with the Iron Warriors?
Sure. Look, I still think my points stand. There is a massive focus on being big and cool, rather than having, I don't know, like an in-depth story that has substance and emotion. I think emotion, for me, emotion is the one. Emotion's the one thing I'm lacking. I mean, Jester, you're kind of impartial.
Is that actually has in-depth stuff.
You're kind of impartial, Jester.
No, it does not.
Did you feel emotion playing Space Marine 2? Did you feel like your character had
I felt
any
like I was a badass.
I shall!
No, that point proven. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Check out. I'm done. Point fucking proven.
Oh, I'm sorry. It went back to the roots of when Call of Duty had it. Everything else, well, it made you feel like you were a badass. It made you feel like, oh, I'm a dude. I'm a guy. I'm actually doing stuff.
Yeah, but I didn't play Call of Duty for the story. Who the fuck played Call of Duty for the story?
Alright, Puffin says, as someone who is here for the models, I don't care that much about lore.
Yeah. That's it too. It's like, I just like the models a lot.
Oh,
I
that
mean,
is great.
If you
Puffin.
want to, if you want no good 40k lore, is this.
I really don't, but
Commissar Kane, his books go in depth of lore there, and actual story. Inquisitor Eisenhorn goes in into the story there.
What do I need to do to win this one?
There's also the House of... I have the book somewhere. But it's the Navigator Houses. It explains more about the Navigators.
there's also no canon.
I did get Capheus Kane book. What's a Capheus Kane?
I'm gonna mispronounce his name, but Caiaphas Kane.
Oh.
Inquisitor Caiaphas Kane, an Inquisitor that accidentally succeeds on everything.
Oh, that sounds so interesting.
Well, it's interesting to the point that it shows the actual thought of an Imperial Guardsman that's a commissar. His thing is, he's not a leader. Commissars aren't leaders. He's like, I'm not a leader.
He's
am
a commissar.
guy that sits in the back. Yes, I'm a commissar. I sit in the back and I keep morale up. I execute anyone that runs, but that's it. And he's doing all this stuff, and he's like, he has a blank with him, a blank bodyguard.
Okay, what do I need to do in order to beat this thing?
You have to kill everyone you have to make everyone one or capture all the points. Or kill them all.
Well, they're all running, so...
Yeah,
but they're all in the middle.
Yeah, he has a blank,
But like, but see, you're kind of like, I'm not trying to diss, but you're also just kind of proving my point. Like you're telling me about all this cool shit that this guy has. This is a pointless argument because it comes down to my personal preference. I prefer actual story. And
where did personal preference get involved here? I thought it was proving you were correct the whole time.
But see here, what is me being correct do to anybody? You're not gonna like suddenly hate 40k. I'm not gonna convince you that I'm right. I just want to convince everybody else that you're wrong.
Yeah, it actually, every time in the book, Commissar Kane usually says he smells like, his blank bodyguard smells like shit.
Yeah.
He doesn't know why.
I just read that.
He doesn't know why. It just happens. But he's probably one of my best friends though, and he's there all the time I need him. And it's usually, anytime he gets praise and everything, he's like, but he did it. I didn't do shit. And they praise him anyway. It's actually a good read. I recommend it. I recommend those books. Including the Eisenhower books. They're really good. Inquisitor Eisenhorn books, they remind me more of, I will say this. I forgot about that one too.
Moving fast.
I mean, how he describes her. I mean, how can you not? I mean, understandable. Anyway, but Inquisitor Eisenhorn, his books are really, really nice. They remind me more of, I'm going to correlate this because Star Wars is what it always relates to, but it reminds me of more of like the Jedis when they're like going out and investigating stuff. Yeah. That's kind of what the Inquisitor Eisenhorn kind of reminds me of.
Seriously trying to sell me Eisenhorn. It's crazy.
Eisenhorn's a good book. It's really good.
No, there are certain things about 40k that I really enjoy, that I thoroughly enjoy. there's just a lot that I hate.
I'm the boss.
It's probably what they went more in depth of all the planets. I think that's what it is.
No, I don't want them to describe what color the rocks are.
But not like that.
I
but
read
more in depth of the history.
Lord of the Rings. I don't need that again.
Yeah, you want more in depth of certain bits.
No, it's not even in depth. There's no depth, like depth of emotion, depth of
Look, watch out!
drama wouldn't be the perfect thing to say, but
It wouldn't be a perfect thing to say. I mean,
They-
if you
they
will
sta-
talk about
they-
like
like-
sucks,
see, here's the thing. You look at Eisenhorn or whatever that not Eisenhorn, whatever that guy's name was that had all those cool things, Kane, that had the blank. You look at him and you say, "Oh, that's so cool."
he's also
but-
a fucking coward, though. That's the thing. Inquisitor,
what?
I mean, not Inquisitor. Commissar Kane is a coward.
So
He does not want to get in the fights. He says, "Nope, I'm not getting in that." And then when they're like, "Oh, Warboss is coming up right now," he runs the opposite direction and leaves his truth behind.
I don't know. But yeah, no, Jester, you didn't answer my question. Did you feel any emotion playing Space Marine 2 from your character?
No, I felt like a. No offense to anybody that's out there in the Marines, but I literally felt like a jarhead.
I mean, in reality, though,
That's
they
all Space
all-
Marine are. That's all Space Marine are, and then you want me to roleplay one. I'm not doing it.
I meant like there's some good stories out there with the Space Marines that actually like do that, like have actual personality. There's a few people on the Death Watch. I don't remember all their names because there's so many. There's some in the Space Wolves have their own personalities and stuff. Black Templars, Gamodus, has a whole series about Hell's Reach.
Well, I'm sure they have
And how he had a
personalities because they are people, but
Yes.
I just
okay,
don't see.
so I'm not gonna defend Marines, but I'm not gonna knock on Marines either. But all I can say is you guys know Montez.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know he's not watching because, well, I don't know what the hell's going on with him. He disappeared again, but all I can say is you guys know Montez.
Yeah.
So,
I have a friend who's in the army, and he's the exact same way.
he's a Marine. He's a Marine.
Yeah, but
Well, I can't
okay,
say that
Marine
now.
Army.
He
tomato,
left the.
tomato.
Oh no.
Oh, okay,
There's
no,
no
we're not
tomato
gonna get into
tomato
this
there.
fucking debate. We're not gonna get into this.
Yeah,
this
you
debate.
you
They're both-
just disrupted a
they're both-
whole section.
They're both fucking armed forces. They both can use weaponry. They're just different branches.
Yes, they are very different branches. And we'll just leave it at that. I don't want anybody arguing. For
Yeah.
Army, Air Force, I love all military.
Sure. What about the Coast Guard?
But all I can say is Montez.
What about the Space Force?
The what?
Is the Space Force even a thing? Because I'd heard about that. Like,
I heard that it is a real thing, but I don't know
It
for
is a
sure.
real thing.
I remember that Netflix made a show before they even became a thing.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
right
it's
after they
still
got
a thing.
announced. Like, oh, we're doing
It's
it.
still a thing, and they're being funded. They're being trained how to use weapons in space and stuff like that.
That's absolutely wild.
I mean, I'm.
What a stupid name, too.
So basically, what he's saying is, Star Wars may come true. The Space Force is working on it.
Oh, stop trying to sell the United States military to me, Jester.
I don't
I'm
even know
not-
what the fuck the
I'm
Space
not
Force
signing.
is, dude.
I'm not signing.
I don't even know what the Space Force is. I didn't know it was a real thing.
I mean, it's a real thing. It's just they haven't done much.
Yeah, because we barely go to space.
If anybody's watching that it belongs to the Space Force, please let us know in the comments that
What you
you're
actually
there.
do for a living.
What is the Space Force? Please explain
And
this
not
to me.
just a bunch of CIA plants. Please enlighten
Hey,
us.
come into our Discord. Discord links are all over the damn place. Come into our Discord. I would love to talk to somebody from the Space Force because I want to know.
I would too, absolutely.
I kind of do want to know what you actually like. What your main job is supposed to be.
Looking out for Martians.
Not necessarily what their main job is supposed to be, but I would like to know what Space Force is altogether. I didn't know this was a real
why
thing.
we even have one.
I'm kind of dumbfounded that it's a real thing, to be honest. But,
You thought it was a joke.
well, I mean, I've heard of Space Force before, but yeah, I did. I thought it was like a joke. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a spoof of something. I didn't know. I didn't realize this was actually a real thing. So yes, I welcome somebody from Space Force to come into our Discord. We would love to sit down and talk to you. Get you on a stream with us, you know, that way you can explain to everybody. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people just like us that didn't know it's a real thing.
That don't know what the fuck the Space Force is.
Definitely didn't mean to sound like an idiot there, but...
I guarantee you're probably not alone in not knowing about the Space Force.
Well, I had heard of the Space Force, but I didn't actually know that it was a thing. Puffin, I did know they were real, bro. Also, you can always look up what they do. Yeah, but you know what? I'd rather get a one-on-one encounter with somebody from the Space Force. Because reading what they do and what they actually do are always two different things. I've known a lot of people in the Marines. I've known a lot of people in the Air Force. I've known some people in the Army. And when you talk to them, you get a different feel for what they actually do than what Wikipedia shows you, you know? Or Google tells you. King just sounded like a jackass with disrespecting them.
Wait, hold on. I what? I what?
Puffin said you sounded like a jackass with disrespecting them. I mean, I'm not disrespecting them. I just don't know what it is, what they do. I mean, I would love to talk to somebody from the Space Force. I really would.
Again, with all due respect to the people of Space Force, it sounds like a fucking joke.
It really does.
Am I wrong? It sounds like a fucking joke. It sounds comical because, I mean, you know, we've got like a couple 100,000 homeless people in this country, and we're worried about the fucking Space Force. But hey, you know.
Maybe the homeless make up the Space Force. I mean, sorry.
Hey.
I think they started being built. I think I heard they started being built when the last time Trump was in office.
I mean, do they like go around wearing aluminum foil hats?
That is just
No, bro. That, and I'm the jackass.
I'm sorry. With a name like Space Force.
Could you imagine that? Them just rolling down in the street in their Jeeps, like, because the National Guards run short on guardsmen. And they're like, yep, Space Force got to fill in. They roll out of their trucks with hats on, with those aluminum foil. Oh, dude. Oh, my God. Everybody's just throwing, like, tomatoes at them. Get the fuck out of our town.
I don't mean to disrespect him. I really don't, but...
I absolutely do. That sounds like a ridiculous
Which
job.
is why I want to talk to somebody from him. I actually want to have a discussion with them. That way, you know, I can learn.
I can't promise that it's not gonna end up 3 hours of me and making fun of him. I can't promise that.
We'll do it on a day we're playing Ghost Recon.
Um,
Oh. I so hope somebody from Space Force comes into the Discord now. I would love it. I would definitely love it.
I highly doubt. I mean, it cannot be a massive branch.
I have no idea. Like I said, I didn't even know it was a real thing.
How would one
They
go
design
about?
rockets are pretty much just NASA. So what is their point? If they're just like NASA, what's the point of having a Space Force if you've got NASA?
Yeah. Oh.
What's wrong? Oh.
They wanted a gift. You ain't getting no gifts
Wow.
from me, boy.
I got curious and I looked up how many people are actually in the Space Force. About 14,000.
Okay, so I mean that's a decent amount. I mean, it's not a huge amount, but it is a decent amount. That's SpaceX Space Force organizing, training, and equipping Guardians to conduct global space operations, ensuring American freedom of operation in space, protecting national interests and deterring aggression.
Like Humies.
So
Yeah.
it's SpaceX
You'll
ran.
be lucky to still be
So it's
breathing.
not even an actual military branch, is what you're telling me. Because SpaceX is not a military branch. SpaceX is a private company.
That's
It is
Elon
it is
Musk,
funded
little
and promoted
boy.
by
Yes.
the government.
Huh?
It is funded and promoted by the government.
Not if
And
it's...
government also considers it its own force.
Oh, you got the two mixed up. Okay. I was about to say, if they're directly involved with SpaceX, then they cannot be part of the military. But I mean, I don't understand why the military needs that
You
up
know,
in space.
When people
What kind of
start
weapons do they have?
Well, I'll tell
Do
you.
they
I'll
use
tell you
laser
what.
pointers?
When Canada sends a satellite to look at their next door neighbor, you'll be glad we have the 14,000 members of the Space Force. All right?
They can't even stop a hot air balloon from China. I mean, come on.
Oh. Damn, this stream's got off the rails. Let's get back
This
to fantasy.
stream has gotten so off the rails, it's not even funny. This train derailed an hour ago. They use an M4 carbine? Why do they need that up in space? Because you fire a bullet up in space, it never stops. You could hit some alien billions of light years away.
Dude, could you just imagine this rusty ass bullet just like comes down to your planet one day, and you go to look for who shot it, and you find out that it was shot from the Earth like a couple million years ago. The Earth isn't even there anymore. Like it's got a name on it too.
Mork will be eating your
Who the fuck
guts
is Jim
tonight.
Johnson? Why did he shoot me?
Lead bullets don't rust.
Don't listen, moron.
I left out the moron part.
I'm just sitting here imagining an alien just looking at me like, what the fuck happened? The whole time.
Alien falls over. You kill like an alien lord's
Hold on.
missus.
They're also not now. I'm not a bullet expert, but they're also not fully made of lead. They're made of brass,
They are made of brass now. Well, not brass, copper.
copper casing.
Yep. The brass is the piece that actually that's the piece that holds the bullet tip in. Because it's soft enough that it'll expand when the bullet goes boom. The bullet tips themselves, though, are, I believe, copper oxides. Yeah, copper oxides do not rust either. You're right. You are correct. I've got bullets that have been sitting around for quite a few years that have no rust on them.
Okay. Now, not to, but you know, I don't even want to go into it.
Oh, come on. This train's
I mean,
already derailed twice.
If it's been soaring through space for millions of years, I mean, odds are maybe not rust.
If you think about it, though, okay, when you're in space, you have no oxygen.
Yeah, so how could it possibly rust?
It can rust. Even if it would get moisture on it, you still need oxygen in order for it to rust.
There would still, okay, there'd be something on it.
But what? What exactly would be on it? Because there's nothing in space to put on it.
Well, you know, I mean, if we're gonna go full, I'm sure the bullet would probably, would it burn up as it entered the atmosphere of another?
That depends
planet?
on the That depends on the atmosphere of the planet. If it was a planet like Neptune, probably not. It would probably impact the planet. If it had an atmosphere like Earth, oh yeah, damn straight, it would burn up. If it's going through space, it's a very strong possibility it would just hit a planet in our solar system, if not an asteroid. You're more likely for it to hit an asteroid. Yes, I do believe Puffin is correct on that one.
I think it would be hilarious just seeing the Space Force using guns against other people in space.
I mean, I personally would not want to take. I personally would not want to take one of our guns from Earth up into space because the first thing you're taught when you're shooting is be aware of where that bullet's going to end up. You'd have no clue where that bullet's going to end up in space.
Yeah, you do. It's going to end up in space.
It's going to keep going and going and going and hit some poor alien's kid. And then there's going to be a whole war started because you shot some poor alien's kid billions of light years away.
And Jim Johnson's just going to get away with it because no prosecution whatsoever.
What's Jim Johnson being?
I don't know what Jim Johnson is either. Well, we don't have the technology for intergalactic warfare. Exactly, Puffin. We don't have the technology for intergalactic warfare. So why do we have a Space Force?
To fight other countries in space when we could just easily fight them on land like we've been doing for the last 2 millennia.
Right. Okay, they invade our space and air. Well, actually, nobody owns the space.
Not yet. Just wait till it's privatized. Wait till Elon Musk gets his greedy little hands on it.
He's already working on that. He is already working on that. To develop the technology for when it arises. But why are they using M4s if the technology's not here? They should give them laser pointers.
And like that's such a human thing too. It's like we need to develop weaponry for potential extraterrestrial life.
I mean, most likely, we'll probably use that technology and use it on each other first.
Of course, I mean we've got to test it out.
Because they're working on it. Okay, Puffin, stop yelling at me, man.
They're working on it. Yeah. When did you become such a space forcer? Huh, Puffin?
Oh my.
Puppy got a nice little sign outside. Just go Space Force.
You know, if anybody from Space Force actually watches this stream, they're gonna be like, I ain't going on there.
You've just lost a loyal follower.
There is no way I'm going on that channel.
Don't worry, I would treat you with respect because I believe all humans deserve respect.
That's fucking
However, your job, I'm gonna rip on your fucking job all day long.
That's what I said. I said that's like some fucking bullshit. You're not gonna get the respect.
What are you talking, dude? I give the only person that I don't give respect to is you. Every other person I respect.
That's true.
And the only reason for that is I'm bringing it back because you're a Warhammer 40K dick rider. I'm bringing it back to the I'm looping it back. I'm looping it back.
You're a Star Wars dick rider, so
I know.
That's
no.
likely the branch the junior or the JROTC colonel was always talking about when he said we got civilian jobs in the military. Oh, Space Force is a civilian job in the military?
I thought it was MP, but hey, who am I kidding?
I mean, there's also civilians that work for the Space Force.
Yeah, there's like civilians that work for every branch, though.
Yeah, there are.
So I'm just saying, in reality, they're not wrong.
Where did you get always? What, that there's always civilian jobs in the military? Because there are. When he said that, I was just thinking, yeah, I'll keep that in mind for when I'm a weapons contractor. You don't necessarily need to be a weapons contractor. They hire civilians all the time, just for logistics purposes. Warehouse work, truck driving. I know a lot of people who've had civilian jobs in the military. Oh, you guys are waiting on me. I'm sorry. I apologize. I really do hope that we get somebody from SpaceX in Discord, though. You know what? I might put it on X, Twitter, whatever it is called now.
Someone from Space Force, please come talk to me.
Wait, so working in a warehouse isn't a military personnel job? Not on most military bases, no.
Yeah, there's some jobs that you can work for the military, but I think you get military benefits, but I mean some military benefits, not like better.
No, you don't normally get the military benefits with it. It normally ends up being like a temp job. Oh, that's what my dad did when he served. Then again, he traveled too. Well, yeah, I'm not saying that military personnel don't actually do those jobs, but a lot of military bases will actually outsource those types of jobs. Because I know there's a military base here by me that they outsource those jobs all the time. Any kind of logistics jobs, truck driving, warehouse work.
I mean, there's a Navy. The Navy outsourced their IT.
The Navy depot is actually the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I now know someone that knows the company that worked for the Navy. IT.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. I got kind of beef with the Navy because one of my friends from high school went to the Navy. I'm like, and we always made fun of him, but like it's kind of crazy to think about.
He always made
He
fun
went
of
he
him.
went to the Navy, and he ended up as a gate guard in a base in the middle of Yemen. Like, what is the Navy doing in the middle of Yemen? Like, that's just crazy to me. And the argument is that, and I always hear people say this. And again, I'm not a military buff, especially not modern military. But apparently the Navy has more planes than the Air Force. So then why the fuck do we have an Air Force?
It's only supplied with drones.
When he supply the drones.
Okay,
Well,
King
we
is
got the
being a
Space
dick
Force.
again.
We've got the Space Force. We don't need the Air Force for anything.
We have more people in the... Actually, they actually took
Then
some...
why do we have Coast Guard when we have teenagers who work as lifeguards?
Coast Guard is a little bit of a different job than a lifeguard.
Yeah, Coast Guard actually...
I don't know about
They
that.
they protect our coastal waters.
Then why do we have a Navy?
Because the Navy is our foreign coastal. It's kind of like why we have a National Guard. National Guard protects us at home, where our military protects us from abroad.
I don't know, man.
And that's the
don't
same with our Coast Guard. Our Coast Guard protects us at home, while our Navy protects us from abroad. The Navy has more planes because Air Force was after World War II. Okay, that makes sense. That actually makes sense, Puffin.
Ready.
No, you're not. Coast Guard also help out after hurricanes too. Yes, you are correct, Puffin.
Yeah.
The
And the
Coast
National
Guard,
Guard.
the Coast Guard is actually to help us here at home. You know, they are our Homeland Security, which I'm still not 100% sure what Homeland Security does. But back then it was the Army Air Force battalions.
Here's my other question. So,
Uno mas, guys. Next turn's last turn.
if we have this... If we took people from the Air Force and put them in the Space Force, why do we have the Space Force if the Air Force knows what they're doing and for the Space Force?
Well, I mean, did we
You know
actually
what?
take people from the Air Force and put in the Space Force?
Yeah,
I'm
yes, we
sure.
did.
Oh, I'm absolutely
The
sure.
Army and Air Force was the same thing, like how the Navy and Marines used to be the same thing. To a certain degree, you are correct there, Puffin. The Navy and the Marines were never actually completely the same thing. Even back
Yeah,
in the
but the
1800s.
No, the Marines are an operational arm of the Navy.
Yes, they are. And that is how they have always had. That's how they always have been. However, the Marines always worked side by side with the Navy. And Puffin is correct there. That they always worked side by side for many, many, many generations. In fact, even still today, you will find Marines on naval ships.
No, I don't want to change the difficulty.
Yeah, I know. I got the same question.
Yeah,
Do you want to change your
true.
difficulty? No, I don't. I want to keep it on normal.
I mean, I don't feel like I'm doing that bad.
I don't think I'm doing that bad either. What's my diplomacy look like here? I'm strength 81. I mean, that's not great, but it's not bad. I just don't have the gold right now to start a second army.
Neither do I.
I mean, I'm way behind where I normally am, to be honest. Normally, I've got these guys defeated by now. Just like how you'll find planes on Army base too, because armies still have paratroopers. Does the Army actually still have paratroopers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't sure.
Oh, but you know what? You know.
Uh-oh. Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
fucking blow up. I'm gonna fucking blow up. I remember this. I'm gonna crash out so fucking hard. What they would call helicopter units in Vietnam
It's
is cavalry.
Yes.
This, like, the 7th Cavalry was just a unit of fucking helicopter. I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna, dude.
Puffin's dad
It's
even
fucking
had
cavalry.
Puffin's dad even had a conversation where he basically called one insane for jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. This was while he was served in the Air Force. That joke's been a running joke for a long time. Why would I jump out of a perfectly good airplane? I mean, I heard that many, many, many years ago. It's been on several television shows. So, but yes, he is correct. Why would you jump out of a perfectly good airplane? But, you know, paratroopers back in the day, even our Rangers of today, you know, they jump out of perfectly good airplanes. But it's because they're going behind enemy lines. It wasn't even him joking.
Now,
But
I
yes, you are correct. In Vietnam, they called the helicopter, even in the Korea. The Korean War was even, it was Korean War after Vietnam? I don't remember.
no.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was no, it was
was
Korean, then
no.
Vietnam.
It was
It
Korean
was
then
the
Vietnam.
1950s.
But in the
in
Korean War is
1959.
actually where the helicopters got their cavalry name.
It's disgraceful, is what it
Let's
is.
have you then. I'll hear what you say.
Oh,
so I
what do
can
you want?
shove the words right back down your throat.
You're super pissed off that they called them cavalry.
You know what I'd call a flotilla of helicopters, or a unit of helicopters? I'd call it a unit of helicopters, not cavalry.
Oh, here comes the cavalry.
And they were talking about horses when whoever made that up. They were talking about horsemen.
No, they were talking
Mounted
about
knights. They were talking about mounted fucking knights. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
Anyway,
Mounted
anything.
Puffin says technically the Korean War never ended. It's just the longest going ceasefire. I mean,
That's true.
that is true for the most part. Alright, anyway, Puffin, I want to thank you for the conversation tonight. You have yourself a good night. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button or hit that follow button, depending on which platform you're watching on. Feel free to join us in our Discord. We love having conversations just like this, even off stream. And I want to thank you all. See you in the next one. Have a great night, everybody.
See, helicopters can be cavalry.
No, mounted knights.
Are you going to say good night?
Oh yeah, good night. I was hoping you just cut it there when he